Right, my name is Shane Clegg. The date is the 15th of June 2013. This is Corruption in Townsville, Part 1. Since 1979 I have been set up or framed by 4 police officers and 11 solicitors, 3 magistrates and a district court judge and his wife, who's a barrister. What I'm trying to do here is bring about an investigation into the hierarchy of this town and a number of businessmen who have for years corrupted political officials, legal officials, and generally got in their way. I know who they are, I know what they've done, and well, I'm going to give them my best shot. In 1979, a Constable P.G. Smith pulled me over to breathalyse me. He had me blowing the roadside breath test device. The crystals never turned green. He then asked me to accompany him to the Townsville police station. I didn't want to go, but he told me I had to go. And they then had me blow in the machine, the breathalyzing machine, twice because they couldn't get a reading they wanted. After the second attempt, P.G. Smith came to me and told me I had a blood alcohol reading of 0.16%. This is a load of garbage. I did have a few beers that night, but I'd ridden to Ayr. After I'd had a few beers, I'd spent some time on the beach down at Ayr, and then I was on my way home. So I couldn't possibly have had a 0.16% blood alcohol reading. I think it was 3 or 4 years later, Constable P.G. Smith ended up in the Townsville Correctional Centre at Stewart Creek as an inmate. He was doing time, so this guy was corrupt before he got to me. Right, I crashed a car on Magnetic Island in, I believe it was 1983. And I was drunk at the time, I freely admit that. The person that owned the car came to me in hospital and asked me if I was going to pay for the car. I told him I would. I asked for him to give me time until I healed and got back to work, and then I'd pay him for his vehicle. A solicitor, Rail Judes, sent me a letter, told me I had to go and see him after I got out of hospital. I went to Rail Judes. He demanded that I pay the full amount there and then. I told him I couldn't, I didn't have any funds in the bank, and I asked that once I started work if he'd just wait and I'd pay for the car. They said the car was worth about $2,000 if I remember correctly. Rail Judes then told me I'd have to make payments out of my sickness benefits, so I agreed to do that. The other thing was, he was in business at the time with a bloke called Martinez, who's still in this town as far as I know. I know that Rail Judes is. Martinez then defended me on the drink driving charges, which got me 2 months in the Stewart Creek jail. I believe this is called a conflict of interest. You're not allowed to do that, but they did anyway, because of the clout that Rail Judes wields in this town, and it's pretty big. So I'm going to end this here, and I'll carry on with more of it in the coming days.